Yo, once again, welcome to Pull in the Park. I'm the international rude boy, AP. I'd like to welcome everybody to another episode. What's going on? I'm here with my partner in crime.
I'm Jump Shot the Jones. I'm on all platforms, you know what I'm saying? Jump Shot the Jones. If you're looking for me on Instagram, that's 2k.jumpshot, okay? We ready to rock, man. Hey, seems like it's been like I ain't seen you since last year, fam.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Oh, yeah, it is a new year, 2025. You know what I'm saying?
2020 with the fan.
Yeah, man. So how's the new year going for you so far?
It's good, man. We're still on our merch run, you know what I mean? We're doing cookies. We got the Portland and Park cookies and the Skyway, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
We doing our thing right now. You know how we play, you know what I mean?
All work is good work, you know what I'm saying? All money in. You know what I mean? Checkers is good sometimes too, though. You know what I'm saying?
For who? For kids?
Checkers, sometimes you got to line the haters up and just jump their ass one by one. Boom, 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 boom. And then make the motherfuckers king you. Because once they king you, guess what?
Yeah.
You fly all over the fucking board and cut their head off whenever you like.
Is that what you guys were doing in the skywalks?
I like that.
In the Skyway?
He just
in the
broke down
Skyways?
Checkers.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people think checkers don't have strategy. Checkers definitely have strategy.
But it ain't like chess, though.
I don't know anything
chess,
about chess. I don't know how to play.
Okay, teach
you
them
don't know how to
about
play chess.
EV. Teach them about chess right quick, man, before we get this thing started.
I mean, you got a board, and that's the easiest way to. It's just that there's multiple moves. You know what I'm saying? Each piece does its own move.
Yeah.
And you got to think strategy. You know what your guy's gonna do ahead of time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It ain't just about going to the other side of the board. It's about taking everybody else down along with you.
Facts.
So you got to
And what about the pawn? What's so special about the pawn, E?
Now I got to break down piece by piece.
Just tell them about the pawn.
Well, before he break down, let's introduce our guest, man.
Yo, my bad, y'all. Hey, yo.
Let me circle back.
All right.
You gonna start over here, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and introduce
Sometimes
yourself.
I get excited, fam. We don't, you know what I mean? We like to let our guests introduce themselves.
Like we were talking about earlier, you know, greatness takes time.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, sometimes you just let it breathe a little bit.
Yes, sir.
We came here, you know, I'm here just to share my greatness with y'all greatness.
Yes, sir.
My name's Kam.
Yeah.
I go by the name Kam Bennett. I'm a DJ here in Minneapolis.
All right.
One of the many hats that I wear. I've worked in music for quite a while. Done a lot of things, working with artists, marketing, social media. Just a creative.
Yeah, definitely.
Somebody that, you know, you should know.
Definitely.
Kam, I love the way you just said artists.
Mm-hmm.
Because you was talking about a bunch of them, right?
Many.
Have you ever heard somebody tell you about artists before?
I don't think that's a word.
Y'all ain't never heard nobody talking about all these artists.
ODB.
I don't know, man.
When he snatched the mic at the Grammys back in the day, ODB is like, I know we got some good artists in the house.
Yeah. Say that.
Wallow just dropped the joint where he talking about artists.
You know what people get on me about? Saying footages.
Oh, you can't be doing that.
Footage is already plural, right? Yeah.
Footage is already.
Yeah, just send over the footages.
Nah, but you know what drives me nuts, though? When people say across with a T on the end.
Across the street.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I hate when people say for sale. When they say, you know,
For
like
sale?
they say for sale, SELL.
Oh, okay.
For sale.
Sale.
I'm stuck. I'm
Like sale don't exist.
Well, let's continue the introductions.
All right, my fault.
Our lovely lady in the middle, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you. I'm Sammy, otherwise known as Teresa. I work at the Seville. And I'm kind of in the same boat as him. When he asked for a bio, I was like, fuck, how do you, I don't know, how do I put 10 years into one thing? But I feel when you're a creative, I feel like you do a little bit of everything. So kind of author, photographer, artist, worked with music, but haven't created anything in a while.
Nice.
But yeah, definitely being in that space. And kind of just artist, creative.
All right.
It too. So, yeah.
Artist, creative. Not artist is creative, y'all.
Artist, this is, yeah.
And EV over here.
What up?
Eddie Velardi.
Yes, sir.
That's a sick name.
I appreciate that.
That sounds badass.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I got it from my dad. I'm third.
Who's a real bad man.
yeah.
I really got it from my grandpa. He's a third. So
Oh, okay.
I'm the third, so he was
Nice.
the original.
Oh, dope.
That's
Yeah,
type of
you
shit you
never
don't
knew
change,
that?
yeah.
Italiano.
As long as I've known you, you never knew
You're a
that?
third.
Yeah.
Y'all some of the original Italian folks.
Yeah, I'm not going to
here
drop
in
my whole
Minnesota?
government for y'all.
I'm a
but-
junior.
No, my Italian side of my family came from Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, they came in through New York, but then moved up the coast a little bit to Connecticut. So
Oh, all right.
yeah, that's my dad's side. That's where they from.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm here today. I used to record music with Fick, and we used to make music back in the day. And I linked up with him now that he's back in the city, and he just wanted me to come talk some shit on the mic with y'all on the podcast.
Yeah.
Well, what's your name, man?
Yeah,
Is it
that's
Jump
it.
Shot or Fick, man?
I'm a
Explain
man.
explain.
So,
that.
okay, hold on. I got something to say
Explain
about
what
that.
FIC means.
So, pardon me for saying that, because I know most people know him as Jump Shot, and I already told him before we came here tonight, I'm not calling you Jump Shot. I'll never call you. It's no disrespect. It's no disrespect. Like, to the people that know him as that and call him that, he's forever Fick to me.
Yeah, yeah,
And
no
I
doubt.
can't look at him in another light like that. When I look at him, I don't see that. So I'm always going to call him what I see when I see him. And then when I see him, that's Fick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
So,
no doubt.
forever in control, you know what I mean?
All
Yeah,
right.
man, that's my dog right there.
Forever in
Yeah.
control.
You know who else said that? Something similar? Prince. I seen back in the day. I seen an interview when he changed his name to the Symbol. They were like, "So, what do people call you now? Do people just call you the Symbol?" He was like, "White people call me the Symbol. Black people still call me Prince."
Right.
Right.
Nothing changes, right?
Your mama, you know.
Hey, your mama named you Prince. I'm gonna call you Prince.
It is what it is. I mean, it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just me wanting to be hard-headed, but that's it. When I see you play Brown. You know what
The
I'm saying?
African
Like,
Prince.
Like, that's just what it's going to be. So,
Ain't nothing changed.
I have a
it is what it
question.
is.
What's up?
Yeah.
What switched it up? What were you like, okay, I need to transition
The
this?
rebrand.
What caused the rebrand? Yeah.
I'm already knowing.
Yeah, sometimes you got to do that. I get it.
The rebrand. Well, FIC was something that was going on out here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, with a few of my friends called the Pharaohs, right? You remember those guys?
Of course.
What you remember about the Pharaohs?
Of course. I mean, that whole situation was what led me down the path I went down. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause before that, I was just working, trying to figure out what the next move was going to be. And then I met Paul, and then I met Justin, and then Rock, and then you, 2C, and everybody. And that led me, that whole situation led me down that path.
And what, you went to school for engineering?
Yeah, I went to school for audio engineering and production. Because when I linked up with the Pharaohs, the one thing we was missing, I mean, because we got with you shortly after. Like, when I came into the picture, you were just, like, getting introduced to them as well. So it was like, I looked and seen what we had an artist, we had dope production, we had everything we needed except audio quality and a, solid place to record. I remember the first time I linked up with the Pharaohs, there was like a warehouse with an old ass computer and a shitty mic, and don't get me wrong, they were doing what they had to do with what they had, but I'm like, I can make this better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and plus my interest in that field anyway. So I was like, let me jump in. I'll go to school. I'll learn how to, make it sound how it's supposed to sound.
Yeah.
And then that was my role. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
dope, man. That's the number one thing I got from that is when you have a crew, find your value. That's a very important thing because
Everybody got to have a role.
you know what I mean. And you when you assess the situation, you's like, okay, this is the valuable piece missing.
Yeah.
Like a chessboard.
Yeah.
There we go. Bringing it back.
Like a chessboard.
We're still going to find out what that pawn does.
Yeah, tell me
Everybody-
what that-
I'm hanging on by
all
a
that
thread.
Then the back to
strategy.
that chest.
Before he goes into what the pawn is capable of, matter of fact, let me sit back. Tell them what they need to know, E. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
We
talk
all
about
start
the
out as
pawn.
pawns. Let's hear it.
I
What's so
would-
special about the pawn? Because you would think that the pawn
can
is
only
a useless piece.
So the pawn's got a lot.
really not.
No, it's got a lot of different things to it. So like the only way a pawn can move is one space forward, unless it's coming off the block.
Off the block.
If it's coming off the block,
Off
and
the
you
block.
want to get them out ahead, you can go two spots. You know what I'm saying? But when a pawn is trying to take something else, they can only move diagonal. It can't move reverse diagonal. It can only move by diagonal.
But see, if a pawn makes it to the other side of that board, man.
Yeah, I was just getting there.
You cancel Christmas.
No, I was just getting there. but that's the whole strategy.
Crazy.
But a pawn can also be used as a sacrifice.
There you go.
If you need to. You know what I mean?
So that's the
Let them cook.
No, I was just saying that's the derogatory portion of pawns that we hear. The ones that
Someone said, when someone said,
You're just a pawn
you were
in the
just a
game.
pawn.
No.
Yeah.
You were being used just to get,
But little do
means
they
to an
know
end. You know what I mean?
how strong the pawn can become if the pawn sticks in there and stays 10 toes down throughout the game.
No doubt.
Church.
Become the queen.
What I say? Church.
So the
You only
difference.
have one queen. You can lose that queen,
Right.
but your pawn can get across the board and get you a new queen.
Oh yeah.
But that's just the beginning of the strategy, though. That's one piece.
Yeah, there's so many other pieces that
There's a bunch of pawns on the board because that's your numbers, that's your men. But that's the strategy too.
I did not know chess was so deep. I'm like,
Man.
now I'm hearing it from that
yeah.
perspective. I was like,
I know,
damn,
right?
are we all? Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
I need to learn. How
I've
to
been a
play
pawn
some
too. It's
chess.
okay.
Chess is crazy.
Play chess
That's
while we do an
crazy. I didn't know
interview. While we interview each other one of these days.
Yeah.
We'll play
Dope.
chess.
Push it across
I
the
thought
board.
You don't know.
Play.
No, I'll teach you.
It's a prison game, man.
Is it?
I ain't going to prison to
That's how I
learn.
learned.
I think
You
it's
ain't
just
gonna
like
find
a-
me learning that in prison. I ain't going.
I hear you because people in prison
You got a lot of time,
they
man.
got a lot of time on their hands.
Yeah.
But
Motherfuckers
when you put chess with how the real world works, you know what I'm
You
saying?
sharpen your mind.
It might keep you out of prison.
Hopefully, shit. Hopefully, anything that you learn is gonna keep you on that straight and narrow.
Because if you can move in life like you move on a chessboard with strategy, with
Yes.
purpose,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying, with that thought of, I'm moving like that, that's the
And
strategy.
trying to outsmart the.
Not just
Uh-huh.
flying through space willy-nilly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got strategy to that shit.
Sometimes the strategy includes sacrifice too, though.
Facts.
So Kim, I'm interested to
100%.
know. I'm sorry I'm gonna cut you off, but
Yeah.
what led you to DJing? Was it like a natural progression? Like, what led you to it? Is this something you always had in you?
My father's a DJ.
All right,
He was a
dope.
DJ. My dad's in his mid-70s now. He's older now,
All
but
right.
when he was young, before my time, he was a DJ.
So he was DJing the discotheques.
Yeah, actually, in the 70s.
Right.
Yeah, so he's like a party guy, you know what I'm saying? He
All
like
right.
have a good time. But growing up, I had like access to some of the older equipment and just took a knack for understanding vinyl. Just being around it kind of just opens your eyes to even seeing the possibilities.
Yeah.
And then when I was in high school, me and a friend of mine who's still in the industry now, we were like throwing parties. And so we just kind of needed that, like we were talking about, people to fill those roles, people to fill that value that was needed. So that was just one thing that I knew that right away I could do. That was easy. And then as I...
Easy for you.
Right,
Because you got skill and
exactly,
talent to go
exactly.
into.
So based on what I knew, based on the files that I already had on my computer, the access and the understanding of just culture in general, it was like a no-brainer for me.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people that I know that are DJs, they're multifaceted. A lot of them do way more things than DJ, but that's just something that's like, it just sticks with you. You never quit being a DJ.
And all of the dopest producers all started as DJs.
Because you have to have the understanding of music, you got that understanding of sound, time, rhythm, cadence,
Or to get
melody,
prepared for it. Yeah.
right? And then on top of that, nowadays because everything is digital, you got to have a little bit of nerd in you too.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to, know these computers in and out, be able to go and understand how to seek knowledge and how to apply it to equipment and to the situation and environment that you're in. So being a DJ is really just being a cultivator
All right.
of sound and of culture. And so, I do that in a lot of areas of my life, but one of them, and one of the most successful places that I've done it, is in DJing parties.
Yeah.
And so it goes hand in hand, with who you are as a person. And I know a lot of people that DJ that their life don't line up exactly. And that's, at a certain point, and I've went through changes in my life, it doesn't line up exactly with being in a party all the time.
Yeah.
But if that's your value, that's just what you're called to do.
Dope. Dope. Yeah, man. That's really dope.
I have a couple questions. Well, just hearing about that, I'm kind of curious. Like, is there a song that you're just like this, like mixed, either is like really easy to mix in, that you're like, this is really good sound wise, or like, is there just a song on its own that you really like?
I mean, it changes every day.
Yeah.
When we were in this beautiful studio, so I was having a conversation with somebody earlier, just talking about creativity and talking about just the rooms that you're in. So I think that a different song can sound different in different rooms, depending on the people that are there and the energy that's been left there, and how your mood is at a certain time. But I mean, I can't pick a particular song right now, but I do know that certain songs sound good in every room.
Yeah.
And, so I think that's one of the things that you have to understand as a DJ is what to bring to what room. Mm-hmm. And so different songs sound different, mixed in with other songs and all that, but it's some of what I bring to a room when I walk in or when I'm paid to be somewhere is kind of whatever I'm going through that day.
Yeah.
Whatever I'm enjoying, whatever I'm, being bothered by, I express myself through music. And so I pick in my mind before I even deal with the computer, I'm picking, whatever the reflection of my energy is. So it changes. Like it changes so often. Like when I get in the car, a lot of times people just automatically look at me like, you play the music. Yeah. Even if I'm in a bad mood, sometimes I'm like, you don't want to hear what I want to hear right now.
That's interesting.
Being a DJ also is understanding what the room wants to hear.
Yeah.
So sometimes even if I want to bring a certain energy to the room, that's just not cohesive. And so
your set's gonna sound different.
It's gonna sound different
depending on a whole bunch of variables.
But one example is like if I'm traveling, the first thing I do when I'm in a new environment is I ask people around me what they want to hear, what they're listening to right now, so I can study what that place and what that
pulse of the city, what they got going on.
Yeah, that city or that neighborhood or that club or whoever's around in that environment. A lot of it is doing research.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Kam, top 5 dead or alive.
Top 5.
Top 5 what?
Starting at 1?
You already know.
Starting
Top
at
5
1.
what? DJ?
Yo, stop cutting my man
talking about artists.
off,
He's
man.
talking
He
about
trying to
artists.
give you some game,
You
man.
just said top 5.
He's talking about artists.
Top 5
For real,
basketball player.
but-
Top
Talking
5
about
DJ.
artists, and specifically because I work in mostly hip hop, I would assume hip hop.
He ain't no basketball.
I would say, and there's a lot of factors with artists, but in terms of discography, performance, in terms of sonically, Lil Wayne.
1?
One.
Or is this in any kind of...
This is a personal reflection of my experience on this earth. So this is, I grew up in the mid 2000s. I was born in 95. So, my experience with hip hop and being introduced was Wayne, Jay-Z, Eminem. It's tough. Pac, maybe.
Ooh.
And then Kanye.
Ooh.
Pop expands generations. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Pac is the Bob Marley of hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't
Like
think
that song that's going viral on TikTok. What's the one?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah.
I forget. What is
It's
it?
a dance song. Like they dancing to it.
What, Pac song?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Brand, some old...
It's an old Pac song.
Pac.
Going
Man,
viral
it's
again.
like right on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
I can't think of that shit.
Pac is the Bob. Pac music would never die, man.
No.
Pac is the difference between Pac and a lot of artists is
Artists?
artists.
No.
I said artists is.
There you go.
I'm just
The
making
difference
sure.
between the Pac and a lot of different artists is
That's how you use artists.
Now he said it.
Hey, y'all saving the footages,
Plural
right?
form.
y'all make sure the footage is nah, but you feel Pac here, man.
Yeah.
He spoke the truth.
Oh my God. Like my daughter, who is 14, like
She
one
knows
day,
Pac.
one day she's in the bathroom while his. First off, fuck your bitch in the life.
How old is she?
You're like, if that was not a song, you'd be in
At
big
that
trouble
time,
right
she was
now.
like
But
13.
honestly,
She was young. She wasn't even 14
Yeah.
yet.
He jumped in with it.
I mean, in a situation like that, you can't get mad. You just feel like a proud dad. Oh,
Yeah,
how
that's
you want
how
it?
you want it? Yeah.
This is on TikTok right now.
Oh, and they're doing the dances too. They're doing
Oh,
the
they got
dances
a
for the
whole
video.
dance. They got a whole dance to this shit.
That's
I've
dope.
seen that shit.
DJ.
And how many
Kam
seconds
Bennett.
was that? We ain't got money for Pac, man. We gonna edit that.
we don't have Pac money right now. That's okay.
Like what you just said about your daughter is funny though, because that reminds me, like back in the day, like fuck the police was a
Yeah,
thing. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? When
yeah.
I was coming up, I'm old school. I'm about to be 44 on Monday.
All right.
Old as hell out here.
40 is the new 30, though.
In
I'm
fact,
45. You know what I'm saying? About to
But
be 40.
I remember.
Aquarius, or you just missed the cusp of Aquarius?
I'm Capricorn.
Oh,
13th Capricorn. Right?
hi.
Yes, sir. But my parents were cops.
Oh my God.
So like what you said,
Oh my God.
what you said about your daughter. Like, I remember back in the day, right?
Tell him a story.
I was literally in my room listening to "Fuck the Police."
Yeah.
And your parents was cops.
My parents were cops.
Like city police.
My mom came to the door and I was like, bro, I was like 10 years old, something like that.
But you didn't really feel that. Like, you just loved the song.
It
the
wasn't
culture.
even like, I didn't even have.
Fuck the police.
I was 10 years old. I didn't have a problem with the police.
It
It was
sounded
just
good.
That song is
Just-
banging.
Nah, like-
Man, have you heard the production of Fuck? That shit bangs, bro.
And I was,
Dr.
but
Dre
the funny
production?
part, like I was in there playing that shit like I wasn't living with two cops. You know what I'm saying? my mom came to my room, was like, because my stepdad's a cop too.
I think it's fair to
they're
say,
retired
bro,
now, but
correct me if I'm wrong, that you love your parents.
100%.
You don't give a. They could have been plumbers.
Yeah,
It
that
wouldn't
song.
matter.
That song ain't had nothing to do with his.
Yeah.
No, it had nothing.
Your
No,
parents is your
I
parents.
wasn't in the room like fuck you, mom and dad. Like no, I wasn't doing
Put
none of
me
that.
on punishment.
Nah,
You guys.
I wasn't.
The both
It
of
really
you.
wasn't. It really wasn't none of that.
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah.
Beat is a beat, you know? Yeah.
Right. Like I always just looked at it as like that was my like every parent's got to have a job.
Yeah.
That was just my parents' job. That's just what they did. You know what I'm saying?
So I don't mean to cut you off, but how did your friends growing up when they found out like your parents your parents are cops, right? They did like the
happened all the
attitude
time.
changes and they'd be like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, we can't do nothing around Eddie.
Well, nah, because you got to consider the type of people I was friends with too.
hoodlums,
Or like the type of people.
knuckleheads.
This dude.
Like real talk. This dude, he's one of the stories.
Yeah, I remember
He's one of the
I
stories.
remember his
Tell us
mom
something.
pulled up on 14th in Portland one time.
Bro, my mom used to hate on me downtown.
Oh, your
not
parents
used
was
to-
Minneapolis cops.
Yeah.
Mom's a
Yo,
city
his
cop.
peoples used to pull up on the horse.
On the horses, my mom was on control. I swear to God. I swear to
I'd be like,
God.
yo, that's Eddie, mom, man.
Bro, look, I got more stories than I can count about how many times I was leaving the club on some real shit, like trying to holler at a little bad thing, you know what I'm saying? And here comes my motherfucking mom, bro.
On the horse.
Bar closed, it's 2:10, we out there loitering, you know what I'm saying? Here come my mom on the horse, like, get out of here, it's time to go home. I'm like, damn, Mom.
What was the spots back then, though?
You know,
Nasty ass horses
Back in
taking
the day,
shits all in
man.
the
Banana
sidewalk.
Joe's,
Nasty.
Nah. We talking like
Tropics.
Do they still do that?
Trappist was a
police
thing.
ride?
South Beach that turned
South
into
Beach
outta there.
turned into
what is it?
10 different clubs. Bro.
Yeah, I forget the name of it, but then
South
them-
Beach
I
turned
think
into
so, though.
Privé.
Then
turned
Block
into-
E was a thing.
Block E was
Block E was
lit for a
busting.
hot second.
what was that spot up in Block E? The club.
GameWorks.
No,
No,
Escape.
club. Escape.
Escape.
There you go. Yeah.
Hey, Blade, the first time I went to Eddie crib, right? Mm-hmm. Because, you know, there was stuff going on. I think there's some sort of like 7-year, what's it called? That you could talk about shit after 7 years or
You
something.
talking about
Statue of Limitations.
Statute of Limitations.
Statute of limitations.
Yeah.
We won't get into the details, you know what I'm saying? But we used to do. Anyways, I went to his crib for the first time one time because he was one of my best friends. You know what I'm saying? And
Nah, we hustle. You can say what you want to say.
we used to hustle back in the day.
We were hustling back in the
You know
day.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
bro, you hustling.
Yeah, we used to.
I used to bring Fick them things.
I mean, low key, that's the best cover, right?
See, and they don't even know what them
No
things
comment.
is.
No comment.
It was cotton candy and
I don't know what the politically correct
and shit.
response is.
For what?
All I know is
but
I'm eating
what's
chicken noodles on the
ironic-
couch right now. I'm not mad. It all worked out. That's all I can say.
But what's ironic about what he's talking about
They're
is he
good.
came
They're
to my
delicious.
crib.
They're amazing.
ooh,
Wait, can we give a shout out to the cookies one time, real quick?
Portland.
Yeah, Portland and
Bree,
Block.
right?
Shout out
you said
to
her name was Bree.
Shout out
Shout
to
out to
Bree.
Bree on the cookies.
Bree, the cookies are delicious.
Shout out to Bree, the
Thank you.
cookie lady.
So, you got a rap name? I feel like everybody
I
got
know. I need to get a
Are you a
name.
rapper?
No, that'd be cool though. I could try. No, I'm kidding. No. And today's the day. No, I'm kidding. No.
So I know you have like a little, exotic dancing in your background.
A little in my background. Yeah. Yeah.
What's the most interesting thing that ever happened to you in a club?
That's a good question. That's a hard turn. I feel bad. I feel like we cut you guys off.
That's like asking
No,
me what's the
is that
best
okay?
song.
No, what we're gonna
We
do?
can go- we can
we're
go
gonna
back.
circle back to that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Take
All
the
right.
floor, please.
So when they were hustling, I just started hustling. I'm kidding. No.
All right.
So
She was the plug.
yeah. I had shit going on in the streets, and I saw a horse. I got scared. I had to get the fuck out of there. You understand? I'm kidding. No, no, I'm not scared of equestrian. No, I'm kidding. No.
I am. I ain't riding that motherfucker.
You see that you get like PTSD. You're like, oh fuck no.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Honestly, any weird stories? I feel like it depends. I feel like we have to like narrow it down.
All right, like a weird trick, like a real weird kink they had.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I started in 2021. So I feel like I'm pretty new to it.
2021, that was like 2 years ago.
I know, but I did it off and on. I like literally haven't started doing it as like, it was kind of more like a hobby thing because I felt like that's how I was better at it. Because it was my main job, you can feel when it's your main job. When you go in there and you're like, I fucking need this tonight.
You depend on it, right?
Not a good energy. You know what I mean? I feel like guys like, there's always like one type of dancer that they gravitate towards in the room. And it depends on like, where you go, because bigger clubs, I feel like there can be like a few of those girls that kind of like have their eyes on them, depending on what they like and what they're into. But at like smaller clubs, you can very clearly tell like that girl's having a good night, that girl is like good in her world, and then there's other girls that you can tell not feeling their best, and that's totally fine. And I've learned that like if you don't feel good, don't go in, basically. And if you can figure out a way to like manufacture having a good day and like being in a good energy, go in, great. You know what I mean? But I feel like, I don't know. I was talking with a friend recently about like how like dancing is like a master class in energy, because I feel like you're able to like pick up on people's stuff right away, but also it reflects you very, very quickly and very easily. Like your inner world is reflected back to you so fucking fast. So like if you don't like yourself, if you're not on good terms with yourself, like that shit shows. But like at the same time, if you can get in a good energy, then it's great. But I feel like as far as like weird stories,
weird requests.
Weird requests.
Whatever trick said to you, like when weird request.
Okay, well, there was one gentleman, and I'm sure guys can deal with this, but most times they keep it in their head. But like one dude came by.
I'm going to cut you up. We don't mean to call y'all tricks gentlemen, because it is a gentleman club, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I have like in my background, I'm so used to.
I was about to ask, what is this trick y'all speak of?
Yeah, right. Well, I feel so dumb. Like I was in the game and I didn't even know what that meant. I was like Googling. I was like Urban Dictionary, like trick. Like what the? I felt so dumb and so out of the loop, but I just didn't know. You know.
Yeah.
I feel like Trick Daddy would be really cute, like on a sweatshirt. I wanted to get a sweatshirt that said that, but so if somebody wants to make that, that'd be cute as hell.
It's already a Trick Daddy.
Please make that, because I feel like
there's a rapper named Trick Daddy.
Is there?
Oh my God!
Oh, I didn't know that.
She's from Marshall, Minnesota.
Dude, don't play. I feel so bad. No wonder it was in my psyche. I was in my psyche. I felt it.
You never heard that song, girl? You don't know Nan?
What the hell?
That represented like me.
What the hell?
No.
Like me.
DJ Cam,
no wonder.
Can you hook her up right quick?
I know you heard this song though.
Take it to the house.
Take it to the house. No. Take it to the house.
I got to hear more. I'm so sorry. Literally like small town shit.
How old are you for real?
I didn't watch rated R movies until I was like 18.
I bet you know who Tim McGraw is.
Sure.
McGraw.
Sure.
I walked into the conversation with her saying she didn't know that Freak Elite was an old song.
No, I heard that. I was like, this fucking new shit is good. Like, this bangs, you know?
Yo, she's gonna be
LaMelo.
So like Lil Jon? Lil Jon didn't make it out there?
That's okay.
Number one fan right here.
No, that stops. Yeah,
P.D. Pablo.
That's why LaMelo.
They still playing that shit in the strip club, you know.
It's good. I heard it. I was like, oh, man. Okay.
Shout out to P.D. Pablo.
Shout out P.D. Pablo. So what's your style dancing? Are you a seductress? Are you a dominatrix? Or are you just... What's your style? What would you say your style is?
I would say slow and sensual every single time, because I just feel like a lot of guys like don't want to say that they're coming to the club for connection, but a lot of guys are. Like they just are, you know what I mean? They want to find a girl to hang out with, to feel special for the night, and that's totally fine. And I love that type of exchange. So like to me, that's what feels good. That's the kind of like work I like to do, I guess. So I'm not looking like... There's girls that are very good at like the in and out, and like they make someone feel special, but they're very much there for like a purpose, you know? And I'm definitely like, if you want to hang out for like an hour, like that's kind of my vibe. But I'm definitely not like up and moving. And I feel like a lot of the girls that are able to...
That shit sounds expensive.
It is. Yeah, it can be. I'm kidding. I know. I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, like,
goddamn. Here's
the deal. Let me just preface. Okay. So I work at a gentleman's club, so I feel like the difference is the vibe is going to be like slower. Like we didn't have a pole at our club for the longest time, so like I feel like now? I fucking hope so. They bought one. We'll see if they can get it up. I don't know.
If y'all haven't had the pole, then them girls even work the pole? Because they ain't used to doing that over there.
Y'all
That's-
get y'all pole.
That's the thing. It felt weird. Like apparently,
Gotta get your pole together.
I know.
No,
25,
hey, no
man.
Diddy.
I get it. I get it. I wasn't in charge
Hey,
of
no
that.
Diddy, get y'all's pole together, man.
Has anybody ever told you?
Oh, pause, yo.
Has anybody ever said to you like, that classic line like, you don't need to be doing this. I could take you away from
I
this.
hear that
Like,
all the time. All the time.
I knew it.
I hear.
Girl, you don't need to be
Take you
doing
away
this.
from
I
that
hear-
hotel across the street.
Go, but like
I can take you away from this life.
they're pretty much like get married. Like, what are you doing here? Like they've said that a couple times, and then every once in a while there's like moments of reflection. I'm like, fuck, you're right. You know what I mean? Because like I did
Some
it kind
dudes
of.
mean it.
I did it as like a
Some dudes mean
hobby.
it.
I did it as a hobby, so I was like, But I feel like if you're enjoying it and you're having a fun time, there's women that do it and like have good relationships and they like what they do and they still have a healthy relationship and they still make a lot of money. So I feel like
for sure.
it's not, especially now, like in today's day and age, like it's not this. I don't know, like this secret bad thing you have to feel bad about. It's more of just like if you're having fun, I'm having fun, that kind of thing.
Facts.
So, but no, I mean you hear it all the time, but I don't take it. I'm not like, oh man, this guy's a fool. Like I think that's really nice. I think it's nice. I fall for it every time. I'm like, baby, you're so right. No kidding though. No kidding. Damn, that's so sweet. Oh my gosh, I'm kidding.
So
though.
for the three of y'all,
Yeah.
how do you balance then? How do you balance, this is a question for all three of y'all, how do you balance then family, career, and
Stay the fuck out the
social
strip
life and
club.
all of that,
Right.
It'll take an hour's time. Yeah, you don't want to do that. No kidding. No. No.
Not for real though. Stay away from certain environments that you know that's gonna be toxic to you.
You can't tell them, just don't stay away. Go to the Seville, man.
Go to the Seville.
Yeah.
If it's the right time for you.
If it's a toxic environment for you, you should stay away from there.
know.
Yeah, know
But that
yourself,
goes
yeah.
for anything, anywhere. What do they say? Everything in moderation. But they don't want their clients to be hearing that everything in moderation. They want them to throw all that shit. But,
take it all.
Raise that whole check.
but everything should be in moderation, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Sometimes I think about young people coming into the entertainment industry because we don't oftentimes really think about what it's like to, when you started.
Yeah.
There's still people starting every day. And so sometimes people ask me for advice or I just notice them going down their own path and I'm just like, you gotta go through the tough times of being out of balance.
Yeah.
And feeling like this is the latest day of my life or feeling like this is the worst day of my life.
Yeah.
You gotta go through those times when you wanna quit. You gotta go through all those parts to develop your character in order to have that tough skin. Because, anything to do with entertainment, whether it's dancing, whether it's music, whether it's just even being a cinematographer, anybody that's involved in entertaining others is draining. And so to find that balance, everybody's path is different. But what you got to figure out is what do you want?
But you got to go through that. That's called paying
That's
your
what I'm
dues.
saying.
That's
To
called
building that
paying your
character,
dues.
you can't do it just
There's
in
no-
one day,
no
1 week.
shortcuts.
There's no advice we could give you that would fix it all.
Right.
You're gonna have to go through those times, and for a lot of people, my biggest advice might be this might not be for you. It might be something you might be passionate about as a side thing, or excuse me, it might be something that you want to just dibble and dabble or dip your toe in.
Yeah.
But it might not be a career for you because if you're gonna rely on this type of work, and like she said, it's energy work, you're putting it all out there.
Yeah.
And people are sucking from you like a leech every day. Especially now that the internet is involved, it doesn't turn off when you go home.
No, it doesn't.
So
You ever just unplug from all that shit?
I try to.
Like just turn the phone off.
It's
turn the
hard,
shit
bro,
off.
because my boss got to be able to reach me, my clients got to be able to reach me.
Right.
Even like you said, being a parent, your kids and their teachers and everybody got to be able to reach you. So just because that phone is on, it's infinite access to the rest of the world, and they have infinite access to you. So it's tough to unplug, but you got to take those times though.
I feel like you got to. I mean, I've never been in your situation.
Yeah, you got to take those times to let everything quiet down.
But I mean,
Let-
I guess I could apply that.
Or the world will force it on you.
Life.
The world will force it on you. If you don't take that time for yourself,
They'll make you
it'll
take
slow
it.
you down on
Right.
with or without your decision.
Right.
It's gonna happen. You're gonna end up in the hospital. You're gonna end up in
Fact,
jail.
yeah.
You're gonna end up dealing with some type of death or something where it's gonna make you slow down and take a step back.
Mental health is a important thing
For everybody.
For everyone.
Yes, sir.
You can't. I feel like sometimes we just rip and run so much we don't take time to stop and just see things for what it is. We think the grind. If you don't have the mental fortitude to really sustain especially wanting to be an entertainer? Because this business is not hard, right? Because you as a DJ, tell me, I know it's probably every DJ's biggest pet peeve, you know? You honed in your skill, you've developed your skill, you know? But there's one question I like to ask. You know, it's a sentiment that you're not a real DJ until you break a record. How do you feel about that?
I suppose that could be true. It's possible to be
feel
true.
That way. I'm not even in it, and I don't feel
think
that
that,
way.
I mean,
That's interesting.
Breaking a record is just introducing a song to somebody who doesn't know it. Whether it's an audience full of people, whether it's one person, whether it's breaking it on your social media, whether it's like, where could we ever quantify whether somebody broke a record or not? Because I could say I heard Funk Flex play this song at a club 20 years ago, so he broke the song to me.
Right.
But there could have been another DJ that actually pushed that song to a bigger audience, and they technically, you know, there's never a place where you could ever say that one person broke a song, because it takes a collective to bring in new culture, you know, whether it's a song or a movie, or it's never just one person. Music in itself, we got people that create their own beats, rap on them, engineer the shit themselves, shoot the video themselves, but the best music comes from collective. And so I don't think there's ever a time when a DJ breaks, there's one DJ that breaks a record. It takes, you know, we got DJ coalitions. We got teams of people, group chats, people that are trying to push songs.
Yeah.
So there's never a time when one person does it, but I guess that is part of being a real DJ, is breaking new music, playing something that you know no one in the room knows it, but you feel like this is it, this is the one.
Y'all gonna know this song.
You need to know this song.
Y'all gonna know this song. You know, that's pretty dope DJ intuition, you know, because that takes a certain level of skill too, right? Knowing, okay, this is gonna go. You gotta know music. You know what I mean?
You gotta know culture too.
Yeah.
Because music and culture go hand in hand, but they're two different things.
So, how would you say the nightlife has changed in Minneapolis? Because when I moved here from Baltimore, some of the bullshit that I was going through, I ain't never experienced a day in my life. You know what I mean? Because I come from a place that's
bullshit here.
Yeah, I mean, I come from a place that's 80 to 85% black. You know what I mean?
I've been to Baltimore.
So
it's a rough city.
Maybe
man.
It's a little less. We'll say 70% black, right? So when I come here,
like what type of bullshit though? Give me an example.
I'll give you an example, right? You gotta, and I go off every time somebody posts this place. So you in over there in St. Paul, right? You have one building with two separate entrances that when they wanted the black people to come, they call it Club Cristal. When they didn't want the black people there, they called it Stargate.
I remember that spot.
You understand?
I remember that.
I'm not going to be there neither days. Fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's the racist bullshit.
But we do that, though. We still do that.
You fresh as hell, brand new crispy Timbs.
And I tell you, you can't get
no
in.
construction boots.
But we still push.
You got a nice
that
little
shit.
necklace on. It could be a cross, and it could be because you're really religious.
No crosses in here.
Oh, you can't wear jewelry in
Club
here.
Cancun was the worst.
We don't allow jewelry in
Y'all
here.
remember Club Cancun?
I'm like, so y'all make the women take off their wedding rings too? You make women take their engagement rings off too? You said no jewelry, right? No jewelry means no jewelry at all.
No jewelry.
Don't pick and choose. So that's what I'm talking
It's
about.
still prevalent,
the
though.
racist bullshit
Yeah.
with these club owners. I know a strip club in Duluth that if the strippers, if the dancers give a lap dance to a black guy, they will get fired.
Strippers isn't derogatory.
I don't
No.
know.
Yes, and it's
trying
in
to be
Canal
politically
Park. I just
correct.
can't think of the name right now.
Oh, I was just asking
It's the
for that.
one. It's the only strip
Oh, it's
club
the-
in
yeah,
Duluth in the
yeah.
Canal Park.
Yeah.
I wish I could think of the name, but fuck that owner, because he's a racist prick. You know what I'm saying?
Tell a story.
Seriously.
What's the Portland Park?
Nah.
Oh, thank you.
So even to that, even to that extent, you know. So it's just like, so in your opinion, like for instance, right?
Gracias.
Portland and Park.
Yeah, man. forget all that. I don't want to go on and on about it.
Yeah. We're not. We
Well,
only focusing on the good.
Well,
How
I,
is
We
things
focusing on the
changed is what I
positive,
wanna
right?
know.
So we could have the positive trickle down effect. We don't need to talk about none of that we don't like no more.
Yeah. That's
Let's
old.
leave that out of there.
But
I do understand that though, and I feel like being able to like neutralize the situation and just being like, you know what, I'm not into it. Like some of the best, like healthiest people I know, they're able to like neutralize those negative situations. Like even if there's like weird behavior, weird shit, you know, and other clubs where I've noticed like kind of like top to bottom, no matter where you go in it, there's going to be weird behavior. And it's just like, you know what, I don't actually have to deal with this club, and I actually don't really like working for you, and I'm not really having a good time, and I don't really like your vibe. Like usually it's not just one thing. Like usually the toxicity is like throughout. So speaking of, I'm not going to say any names, but like there's certain clubs where I'm just like, if I'm dealing with this, like I know for a fact that like there's other shit happening. So it's just kind of like, you know what, you vote with your dollar, you vote with your time. Like I'm not interested, you know? And I feel like, I don't know. And the thing that I think is really funny to me too is like you get to decide like your vibe as a club owner, and like when people are happy, you can definitely tell. Like when there's like this like positive reinforcement of like this is what we want to have, and we encourage it in a positive way. Like that just goes so much better. Like the clubs that I really enjoy working for, like they all have that good energy where they really understand. They really understand people, and it's not like this like, you know, like scarcity versus like abundance mindset. And like there's certain clubs that I work for that like that I may or not have worked for in the past that like had like that scarcity mindset, and it just was like, yeah, this is not really my vibe. Like I'm not into it, and that's okay. Like you won't be seeing me again, and that's okay. Like I don't know. So I just feel like when it comes to bullshit like that, like don't have to deal with it. Like not into it. Guess I'm just not going to be able to do this when I'm up here, and that sucks. But I don't know.
So
But,
what goes into creating that good culture? What are some examples of things that club owners or staff members, managers,
Yeah.
or even the talent themselves, what are some examples of things they do to create good culture in a nightclub?
Yeah, I would say neutral positive. Like safety is a really, really big factor. Like people that say what they mean, and honesty is really, really prioritized, and everything's out in the open. Like the clubs that I've worked at, my favorite ones, I've said like you could do this club with the lights on. And obviously like, oh sorry, my bad. And obviously like it's less fun to have the lights on, so that's why the lights are off. But like there's some clubs that are they're clean. Like you can just tell top to bottom, like good vibes through. Like I'm really big on like positive reinforcement. So like the clubs that I've worked for, that they're like, hey, if you get here early, like you don't have to pay as much, and because we're happy to have you here early. So like it pays off in both regards. Whereas like there's some clubs that, you know, they get really excited about the concept of making money off of the dancers. And to me, anytime the dancers aren't happy, baby, you're not gonna have a good club. Like people are not gonna be having a good time. Like there's other clubs where like I've had to, like the women are in charge of their own songs, and we have to like go over to like the fucking whatever thing. They're like, you know, guests can't touch the jukebox or whatever. Like dancers have to punch in their songs. Do you know how fucking stupid I feel in my heels and like fucking song, like trying to type in shit? And like, I'm not a DJ. I can't curate a vibe. You know what I mean? I can't fucking, you know, type in Morgan while I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Right.
So like to me, like having people just be like, I don't know. Like I think anything that feels like things are tight around here, so you just have to cover your own. It's like, I don't know. Like I feel like when things are just like out in the open and like they want you to have a good night, they want to have a good night, like reciprocal. Everything's really, really reciprocal. Like, I don't know. I feel like that makes a big difference. And just like, yeah, honesty. And like also employing really great people that like don't have weird vibes, you know, because there's people that like I've clocked out and I'm just like, they could, you know, look at you funny after you clock out, but they're really respectful. They're like, hey, great night, had fun, whatever the heck. And I'm just like, this is amazing. So I feel like any culture like that, where it's like, you can do what you do, but it never feels derogatory. That goes a long way for me. And like clubs that are like, obviously the money is nice. Obviously the money's nice. But at the same time, you have to like play your cards right too. That like, if there's certain people in there that like, hey, it was a slow night. Like they're not like, hey, where the fuck is my money? They're like, fuck, I was in the same room that you were in. Like they very, very, yeah, just being understanding.
Have you danced in any other cities?
I have, yeah.
Like, I'm sorry,
danced in
any other states?
I can't say that. We can cut that part out.
Any other states?
Kansas City.
Yeah.
Briefly. Yeah.
How do you feel about the difference between the clientele and where you've been in Minnesota?
I feel like wherever you go, you're going to attract certain types of people. So I feel like I always get really great people that vibe well with me, because the people that are looking for something else, it's just not going to happen with them, and that's totally fine. So I don't really run into like cheap, rude people. Like that's not really my circles, which I really like, because I wouldn't attract them, they wouldn't attract me, you know. Word. So I feel like when it comes to
have you ever been snowboarding?
What's that? Just in general?
I thought it was something. I was like, damn, what?
She knows what's snowboarding is. Come on, hold on now.
Have you ever been snowboarding?
You mean regular snowboarding? What's?
Yeah,
Is there something else that I don't know?
Right?
What?
I mean, we're talking about strip club, and you say, you be like, have you ever tried the rusty screwdriver?
I feel a little nervous. I'm just I'm sorry.
I'm like,
Of course, that's where my mind went. Of course.
The Alaskan pipeline.
That's a whole nother thing.
Listen. I asked you that because I heard that this guy snowboards.
Oh.
So I was
That's cool as
wondering
fuck.
if you've ever done it.
Oh, I would love to. I haven't, non-professionally. I would love to go. I want to go to one of those like fancy ass ski resorts. That'd be really cool.
How was your last snowboarding experience?
Wait, before you get into that,
I would say I want to get you in here too because I feel like
I want to hear.
We were just
I
talking
want
about.
to hear your perspective on how the nightclub.
All right, let's wrap that topic. Hold on.
Yeah.
that's okay.
I really want to hear how the nightclub, because I'm not out as much anymore, and he's.
I know I ain't. We used to be in that bitch every day, but
All right, so what about
we
the
used to
nightclub?
live there.
What about
We used
it?
to work
How
there.
have you, from how has this changed now? Based on what you say, then I have a better understanding.
I got a pretty interesting perspective because obviously I'm a little bit younger than you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
But I've also been working a lot longer than 2021.
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of changes, especially here in Minneapolis. But I mean, I could even speak to some of the stuff that you said about racism. And I don't look at it as racism. I look at it as classism. Because if a nigga walk
That
in
part.
with a chain on and he play for the Dolphins,
Oh yeah.
they don't care, bro. As long as you got money, they don't care. What they're trying to do is to keep out broke people. So yeah, racism sneaks in because some people's mindset can't even fathom or accept the fact that black people got money now.
right.
Yeah.
They can't fathom or understand that Somali people got money now.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of it comes from them trying to financially differentiate people. But these days, bro, it's a whole new world now.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm sure she could even attest to it. It's like you can't really look at a person and understand what the energy that they're going to bring to you is yet. Back in the day, and I feel like it's somewhat judgmental, but we all judge each other for our own protection, our own safety, and our own furtherment.
In a way, yeah.
Sometimes.
For sure.
And hopefully we look at it, through a lens that's, optimistic, hoping that people are going to be good people with positive intentions, but we judge people. And so nowadays, I don't know if I'm just out of touch, but it's hard for me to even judge anybody no more. These days, I might see somebody dusty as hell walk up to me. They don't have themselves put together. They might not even be groomed well. And who knows, they might have a hot song that's already on the radio.
Right.
Or I might meet somebody who got 7 chains on and they got a whole posse of people with them and their music is trash.
Right.
Just speaking about artists that I deal with, or even clientele or owners, it's like it's hard to judge people now. So like you were kind of saying, it's like I don't even know how they're even looking at people as far as doormen and things like that. When it comes to nightclubs, I don't even know how they even picking apart people because they don't know. These days, everybody's so jumbled up.
I feel like in a weird way that's like an after like 2020 thing too. Now that we have to get into that, but I feel like that changed a lot of things. So it changed a lot of people's occupations. Whereas like before, it was very easy to be like, oh yeah, you can clearly get into whatever the heck. And like now it's like, well, you can make a lot of money on the internet now. So like it literally does not matter. Yeah, I saw TikTok where a girl was talking about that, and she's like, if I see an old grandpa sweater that could be a very trendy, I don't know who I'm dealing with right now. Like I don't know. So yeah, it's just kind of like, yeah, that's interesting, but. I don't know. I feel like energetically too, like we had a chance to like really like turn in. So then there's a lot of like, I don't know. I was thinking about this before we started, like with social media or just being online, it's like there's a lot of pressure to just be overly aware. And so I feel like it's exhausting because it's like when it comes to like going out and like creating anything, talking to anybody, it's like, do you want to, I don't know. I just feel like it's like being hyper aware of yourself. At least I have that. So I feel like, I don't know. So I feel like
being
energetic.
safe, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Keeping yourself safe.
Tell me what you know about Portland and Park?
What about you guys?
No.
Oh,
The two words.
Just about Portland and Park.
okay. Well, given the context, I'm from Marshall, so I don't really know a lot of shit, and I didn't know about Trick Daddy, so let's just put that in perspective here, okay? I don't really know a lot, like anything.
But you know those are 2 streets, right?
I didn't even know
avenues.
that. I didn't even know that. Well, like people will talk about like different parts in the
I'm
cities.
sorry, avenue, not a street. Yep, you're
No,
right.
that's okay. Yeah.
So Portland is an avenue that runs north to south.
Well, it just runs one way. One way.
Well, it drives one way, but I'm
Yeah.
saying the actual road itself.
Yeah.
And then Park runs parallel as well. And they're both exclusive to South Minneapolis.
That's
Just to
cool.
give you a context. Just so you know where they're coming from.
No, that's
I'm
cool.
sure they have
absolutely.
a much deeper meaning behind their name, but that's...
No, that's good. That was a really good explanation of.
It's just spots where we used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up over there. I used to go to church on Park Avenue.
Dope. So yeah,
You know,
let's
Prince
start.
actually got married on Park Avenue.
Oh, word.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that for a long time. He got
Like
married
in
at my
one of
church.
them old mansions over there.
No, at my church. Yeah,
Oh,
Park
wow.
Avenue Church.
Oh, dope. Oh, wow.
His second marriage.
Hey, Blade, she asked me earlier, how did we come up with Portland and Park?
It's just our old headquarters, sort of de facto headquarters.
Nice.
I told her Portland and Park came up with us.
Came up with us. It just happened the way it happened. There was no mindset behind it. You know, it was no. We was like in the beginning, we was trying to figure out, you know, what we were gonna call the podcast, and that seemed to be the most natural name to go with, because it's just like that's kind of where we all met. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of
A lot of our friends are from there.
from there, and we kind of cultivated a brotherhood over there. You know what I'm saying? And so I felt like that was the right name for the podcast. You know?
Yeah,
Facts.
I like that.
Yeah.
Was this like a long time coming in terms of just you guys manifesting the idea of a podcast or having a show together, or was this kind of something recent?
Nah, man, we hadn't honestly, like, we hadn't spoken. Honestly, it's like we're not as famous, but our situation is kind of like Mason Kam, where we didn't speak for a long time, and then when we linked back up, we never even talked about why we didn't speak for a long time. We just
got back to it.
continued like
Yeah, like it never happened.
like it never happened. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like one of those things, and realized that.
It was crazy to me. I love to see it though,
Yeah.
because like, I mean, it seemed like all of a sudden all y'all came back. Well, you said you never left.
No,
You know what I'm saying? But like when it comes to like Fick, so how I ended up being here tonight was I bumped into Mano at the Timberwolves game.
Oh, okay.
So I'm at the game and I'm just like, I'm with my son, and he walked by me. I just looked like, I ain't seen him in like 15 years. He just walked right past me. I was like, Mano. He turned around and looked and was like, oh shit. And then that's when he told me everybody coming back.
Wait a second, Eddie. Where's that coming from?
That poor
Next
baby, he's
door.
going through it.
That's next door. They loud as hell.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
They having a good time.
sorry. You can continue.
It's Saturday night, man.
Sorry.
Right. They out there. They having a good time.
Everybody have a good
Saturday, it's a
time.
Saturday.
But yeah, but I'm saying this because I got a question at the end of it.
What's up?
But like, so Mano told me like, you back, Ace back, he back, and I'm just like, so what? How did that all like? Were y'all communicating that was gonna all happen, or did it just happen organically? Like
just happened.
y'all just ended up back in the city all at the same time organically?
just
Because that's just
happened.
crazy to me.
Yeah, it just happened, you know, and some things people try to take advantage of and like try to put steam into it. You know what I mean? What me and Senor Blade over here is doing is we planted a seed in here, in this other room here. It was just me and him, and there was a brick wall behind one of us, and there was a drum set behind the other one of us, and
That drum set right there.
this thing, and this thing just kind of grew. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it grew to doing it. It's really, to me, it's amazing that we're ending this season on this wall, because when we moved from having the just in the little corner back there, we was on this wall, and then out of nowhere, you know, I don't know what you believe in, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, yo, I was telling him, yo, we need more, bigger. You know what I'm saying? And then he put us on like Conduit. We was blessed through Conduit to be able to have a video wall to kind of set the standard of how we really want to do this. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we did most of our season on that, and now we're back on this. And to me, it looks great. You know
I
what
thought
I'm
so
saying?
too.
Yeah, it looks like
Yeah, this is a beautiful studio.
it looks really nice.
Shout out to Conduit. Shout out to our partners. Shout out to all the Portland and Park partners. You know what I'm saying?
Sir.
Shout their names out right quick.
Big Ted, Big Artie, Big Jim. You know what I'm
He
saying?
had those writing.
SE.
Uh.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out to come on, Arthur, King Arthur.
I already shouted him out.
Okay. Creative STP.
Oh yeah, creators STP.
Skyway,
You know what I mean?
Flipping shirts and stuff. Shirts.
Shout out homegirl Lizette. You know, our sister.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
we rocking 2025.
It's up from here.
So what's next, man? I know you say you snowboarding. Are we gonna see you on ESPN for the X Games or anytime or anything?
Nah, man, it's just pastime.
It's a
I
pastime.
think that living in Minnesota, a lot of people say it's boring. a lot of people complain about, especially the wintertime.
Oh man, I'm sorry, but I be feeling the same way.
But a
It's
lot
like,
of people just, put so much negative energy out there, but they don't actually go and enjoy some of the beautiful, fun, enjoyable things.
I tell my wife that all the time, bro. My wife's from Mississippi.
Okay, yeah.
She's always bitching about the winter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, the winter, I hate the winter. I'm like, man, let's go do something. I still snowboard. I got my
ice
board,
fish,
boots,
all that.
everything at the crib. Like,
So-
let's go do something. I tell my son be doing the same thing. Like,
I'm not
it's
a fan of
cold
the
out.
cold.
I'm like,
I'm not a fan of the cold,
yeah,
but if you
put the shit on and go.
you bundle
know
up
what I'm
right,
saying?
man,
Right.
you gotta get outside, enjoy.
By the
Minnesota.
time you get to the hill and start dragging that snowboard around and getting it on and off the
Yeah,
lift,
you ain't thinking about the
you
cold.
warmed up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you active. You out there
Have you
doing it.
snowboarded?
Rude boy don't snowboard. So bumper ass.
What you mean you don't snowboard?
I'm gonna get you out there. I'm gonna get you
Y'all
out there. I'm gonna get
bobsled.
you out
What you
there.
mean you don't
I'm
snowboard?
from Jamaica. I'm from Liberia.
Why was you rude boy? You ain't Jamaican.
Hey man,
But there's
I
a lot of
believe in
things.
universal blackness, man.
Yes.
There's a lot of things in Minnesota that
very
people
black people.
haven't even tried yet, and they'll put it down before they even give it a shot.
They're bitch
What's another one?
about the
Tell us
cold
wanna
from 4
learn,
states
though.
away, but like,
I wanna
Camping?
learn.
Camping.
it ain't
Like if
hard.
you ever take like a little excursion, a little getaway to like a cabin.
Yeah.
Just
That's
being
a
out
very
in nature,
common thing in
bro.
Minnesota.
Hell yeah.
Nature, Minnesota is a very nature-focused, nature-driven state, and I think a lot of us living here in urban Twin Cities miss out on a lot of that because we're too focused on nightlife, strippers, and being outside.
Sorry, I'll
Nah,
take that
which is all well and
Take
good,
that.
but every
It's
once
not
in
a
a while,
shot.
it's
It's
nice
not
to
a
get
shot.
outside and see
No,
the sun.
that's okay.
I'm just saying.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. I definitely like the energy is different here, and I feel like yeah, I get it. Especially
Every once in a while, you got to get out and go see the stars.
You got
know
to.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then
You
on
can't
top
even
of
see the
that,
stars with all the lights and
a
shit.
lot of the network of people that can help you be successful in Minnesota are very in tune with that. They got cabins and they got, their
Ice fishing joints.
exactly, they got ice castles, and
Ice
so
house.
if you can't get with the times and you can't get with what they're on, then it's hard to be part of that network and hard to communicate with people if you can't try at least, or experience some of the things that they enjoy. So as me maturing is just realizing instead of going out every weekend or instead of just hanging out with the guys, like I want to see more of Minnesota. I want to see more of what it has to offer. So
yeah.
Minnesota is
open
a
to it.
beautiful place, man.
It is for real.
You go up north. I love Duluth. That's one of my favorite towns. It ain't that it's all big and exciting or anything or big and exciting about it. It's the beauty. It's the natural beauty. It's the lake. Big ass lake, look like a damn ocean. It's just the quietness, the stillness, not the slow pace. I'm from the East Coast. I grew up. Everything is fast paced. I tell people when I moved to Minnesota, I moved here to slow down. I didn't move here to turn up. I moved here so I can calm down.
Yeah, but that's slowing down ain't really in your nature.
No, it ain't slowed down. Slow down ain't in my nature. Because the thing about Minnesota is, and I'll hold dead fast to this. No one here has nothing on lock. So if you feel like you have something on lock in Minnesota, you lying to yourself. No one here has shit on lock.
What does that mean?
Means that there's having something on lock.
Yeah.
This means like there's a top guy or that just runs shit.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah. It's more like
But
dispersed. Yeah.
what I believe needs to start happening is we need to all start working together. We need to all come together, and start more supporting, more artists connecting, more of everything. Because when you look at other cities, when you look at the Atlantas and all these other cities, they became what they became because they realized at some point, we need to start working together if we're going to get to the next level. And Minnesota has a lot going for itself. And Minnesota is a great place to live, and life has treated me good here, you know what I mean? I'm happy to say I live here. When people hear my accent, they be like, nah, but you sound like you from New York or the East Coast or something. Then I say, yeah, where I grew up. But Minnesota is a great place. I love fishing. I'm an avid fisherman.
But you wouldn't go ice fishing?
I don't like the cold, man.
But you could go inside. You could go. They have ice houses,
They have
bro.
little ice houses.
yeah.
You can get like a heater in there. It's nice.
It'd be like 60, 70 degrees, and you sitting on top of ice.
I understand.
I understand. I love that language. I
It's gonna melt,
understand.
you gonna
I'm
go
not
through, but y'all
interested.
I'm not
you
Jesus,
don't.
bro. I'm
No,
not
that's
meant
okay,
to
that's
walk
okay.
on water,
Here,
even if it's frozen or not.
I'll say this: if you're gonna go with somebody who's been ice fishing for a long ass time, and, like,
Motherfuckers
has
be
a whole
driving
setup.
out there
for
with their
sure.
trucks.
Yeah.
You know how many trucks is in the bottom
You
of
don't
them
want to be out
lakes?
there in a little tent. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
fuck no.
Now my brother-in-law
That's
be
a lot
on
of
that shit. He got
Yeah,
one of them.
fuck with it.
It's like an RV. His ice house is like an
yeah.
RV.
Yeah.
It is
He got
an
a
RV.
bathroom, a kitchen.
A shower.
The only thing about it, the only thing that's different from that joint in the RV is it's on hydraulic, so it can lower down to the ice. And they got a hole that you open up.
That's cool.
You open it up, drill your hole right through the ice, and you ice fish. It's like sitting in the crib.
So what's some of the things that you enjoy about Minnesota in the winter?
In the winter?
Yeah. Favorite pastime.
Turning the heat up.
Fact.
Nah.
Making babies.
I would say I do love. Oh no.
A lot of babies get made in the winter time.
Okay,
No. My baby making days are long.
Oh, mine
done
are
and
too. Don't get it
over.
twisted. Mine are too.
I got a 17 about to be 18 and a 14 about to be 15. I'm 45 years old, about to be 46. I'm this close to being a free man.
I got
no more babies
I
coming
got
out
a
of me.
6-year-old still, bro.
Dead ass.
I started going back.
But I mean, I do like I would go sledding and stuff like that. I'll throw on a snowsuit and I'll go outside.
Do you currently own a snowsuit?
Or a sled.
Yeah.
Like snow pants?
Or a sled.
Two.
Yeah, you
We're really
got a
putting him on the
sled?
spot here.
Yeah, tube.
what's up.
Not a sled, but tube, like a tube sled. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, but
We got to make sure you really appreciate Minnesota, man, because
Nah, you know what I'm saying.
when you say it's a great state, I got to make sure you enjoying all
Kids
pieces of
shooting,
it.
bro.
We gotta get outside with you, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Come
Go
on.
do some content like in the snow.
Man, let's get him on some snowboards.
Okay, where should you
down.
go
That shit
snowboarding?
would be
Because I'm trying to go,
hilarious.
but I don't know where to go.
Bunker Hill.
Oh, there's all. I mean, there's
It's gonna be we're gonna have a bunch of people get together and we're gonna all go snowboard in the Portland Park family,
I'm
you
gonna
feel
see
me?
I'm gonna watch y'all from the post.
Yeah, you're gonna
There you go.
be the film crew.
You're gonna go in the
Nah,
chalet.
I'm gonna be
He's just gonna hang
inside.
out on the deck
You're
in the
gonna be
chalet.
the
So what's
guy
next for
drinking
you,
the
Kam
hot
Bennett?
cocoa.
What's next for you?
man. I want to start a new company. I want to start like a talent agency.
All right.
So I think that a big portion of my career has been being like a liaison between people. And I think that Fats could attest to the fact that he's been one of the pioneers
Shout
of
out
that.
Minnesota Fats, one of
Yes, sir.
OG big legend. Where you go? One of the big legends
he's
in the
up outta
city.
there.
You know.
And him and I were just reminiscing about how I've known him almost 15 years. He met me when I was like 14 years old.
Wow.
When I was just starting, and he offered me some opportunities, put me on some shows, but he was a liaison between people that I needed to know, and he was able to give me jobs, gigs. He was able to introduce me to people, and I think that as I'm becoming more mature and with the experience that I have and the relationships I have, I think that somebody needs to usher the new generation in terms of putting them in the right place, cultivating their talent, doing training and media training, and
Yeah.
finding people that they already know what they're good at. They just need a little bit of help.
Yeah, outlet.
Exactly. And so I want to start a talent agency. And that wouldn't just be, it would be focused locally just because I'm residing here and I have a lot of passion about Minnesota, but it would be something that'd be global. And there's no bounds to that.
But we need people like you with a large social media following to really put the city in the forefront, because people like you help make the city visible to the outside world.
And I think that some of it's not even me putting those people in the positions. There's a lot of people from Minnesota, and I can only speak to or attest to music. But if we were talking about Bobby Raps, Spooky Black, if we're talking about Prince Krishan, there's tons of people that are having tremendous success in music, and maybe behind the scenes sometimes.
Give them that
Give us a couple more.
Let's do
Shout
it.
them out one more time again. I'm sorry. Who was them people?
So if I said Bobby Raps,
That's the alarm, bro. Clap it up for them.
I'm gonna clap it up for him.
Spooky. We could talk about Young Gravy,
Yep.
Mod Son.
Mod Son. Yeah, big shout out to Mod Son.
I know that name, but I didn't know that person was from here.
Yeah, Mod Son is
Yeah.
from Bloomington.
Oh, okay.
Extreme success.
And so some of these guys,
Who did he date?
he was dating.
What does it
Avril
matter? A
Lavigne.
man's a musician.
Well, it just
bro.
gives context in terms of media culture.
Like
these are people that are dating
Bella-
A-list
listen-
celebrities.
listen
Was he
up.
dating Bella
I'm
Thorne?
sure he
Bella.
wants to be
Yeah,
known
he was
for
dating Bella Thorne.
things
It's not that
he
he wants to be
accomplished
known.
on his own merit.
He was in a relationship with
Wow.
Avril
He was
Lavigne.
hating.
Right. He dated Avril Lavigne. What you mean that don't count for nothing?
No,
right?
it does have an
Damn.
impact.
Avril Lavigne, he might have helped her write some music.
I'm saying, I'm sure he wants to be known for his accomplishment rather than who he dated.
Well, it's just the
Hey,
truth
this is
in
culture.
the industry. Yeah,
This is culture.
the people that you
We're
date,
talking
people
about the
care.
facts, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So
Yeah, people care about who's people dating.
don't care about who I date.
Well, we'll see.
So what's next for you?
Oh well, I was just gonna comment on that too, because I kind of like that mentality of one, a lot of artists kind of going through their own dark night of the soul, things that it just sucks for a little while, and that's fine, you know, and kind of like figuring out your own thing too. And I heard like recently someone say like, your thing is the thing that like comes easy to you, and oftentimes we discount it because it comes so easy, and it's like, well, that can't be anything. And it's like, no, like that's your shit. Like that's the thing that comes easy to you. That's your vibe. You need to capitalize on that.
Don't
but I
come
feel like
easy to everybody.
exactly, because it doesn't come easy to everybody. And kind of like you talked about earlier, like kind of like getting in where you fit in, that kind of thing of like, what do I need to improve? How can I make this better? So I feel like, I don't know, people that are like going through their own stuff where like it feels really tough. So I just like that you commented on that, because I feel like a lot of times people are in that spot and they're like, this sucks, I hate this, so I guess I'm not gonna do anything. I guess I'm not good at what I'm supposed to be here for, whatever the heck. So I just feel like kind of by going through that bullshit, you kind of figure out your own spot in the world. And I just feel like as a culture, we're changing so that we don't have like these like peak celebrities anymore of like who to watch and who to follow. So we're getting this weird opportunity where we're like, well, who do we watch? Who do we pay attention to? Yeah. So I don't know. I just like that, like kind of like by finding people and like facilitating that talent, like that kind of helps create this new spot where there's not like 20 main people that people are paying attention to, which nothing wrong with that too. You know, that also is like has its own like time and a place. But I feel like even like you said earlier, like getting to appreciate people for like what they offer, and it might not be the person that you think it is. It might not be the person that's super obvious. Like, oh, I can't pinpoint who's good at what they do. But like even people that like, yeah, get in where they fit in and like find their thing that they're successful at, like that's cool. I don't know. I just feel like it's changing, and like it might feel weird right now, and we're in this like weird in between, but like it's a good thing. But it just feels weird in the meantime. But
never know where
yeah.
to lead.
We are in a weird in between time though.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
Yeah, it seems like
Yeah.
things are changing.
Locally, in terms of like we were talking about nightlife, musically, in terms of talent, there's a lot of things being ushered out. I mean, financially, in terms of our country, politically, we're just in this weird transition stage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Definitely.
that I don't think a lot of us will even notice it until we get into more of a settled down the next phase. But right now, it's a lot of transition of power, a lot of transition of wealth. And I think that if you can capitalize on that, and if you can recognize it, number one, then you can put yourself in a really nice position in the next 5 years before 2030. As far as, you know, a lot of people are retiring.
5 years, B.
Nah, he's got a plan.
I'm talking about 5 days, B.
People can't hold on. A lot of people was trying to hold on to these positions they had. You can only hold on to it so long before you end up in the hospital and you on that deathbed. You got to pass it on to somebody. And so, especially locally, I mean, we've watched, and I was just having this conversation, we've watched over 10 venues close in the past 3 months.
Yeah.
Damn, for real?
Yeah.
Wow. I ain't been paying that much attention.
I mean,
so let me ask you this then before we wrap it up. Do you feel like the old guards did everything they could to promote culture for the next generation here? The old guards meaning, and I ain't scared to say, name the old guards, like we'll say the Princes, the Jimmy Jims and Terry Lewises. These guys, because all the guys you just named.
The next is.
All the guys you just named had to find a way on their own. I hadn't seen nobody from that 80s generation or any of that stuff pulling anybody out of this
Prince
city.
Did.
Yeah,
Prince,
I guess.
He
gave some shots to people here in Minneapolis.
I mean, Prince was so influential.
Then count Prince out. Then I'm not talking about influence. I'm talking about
really
literally
think anybody besides
He's talking about putting people on.
Putting people on. I'm not talking about your influence.
like gatekeeper type shit.
You know,
We could have that conversation until we blow in the face.
Yeah.
But I think people tried their best. I don't know. I couldn't say.
Well, I feel like even like being as good as you are, that's why you're as good as you are, because you focused on yourself. And I know that sounds like a bad thing, but I don't think that's a bad thing. And I don't know, like having people who are like, it's kind of like, I don't want to quote Oprah because I don't necessarily know how I feel about her.
We love Oprah.
Okay, we like Oprah. Okay. Not to quote Gandhi. No, I'm kidding. No. Well, basically, like she had given advice to somebody, and she basically said like keep walking until like the light shines on you the brightest. Like that's your spot, basically. Yeah. So I understand that like we want. And even I've experienced this too, even like working at the club, there's times where I go in and like my energy's kind of scattered and I think like, oh, it's my job to be like the nice girl. So like I go in and I'm like nice to all the other dancers and I'm like, okay, but that was your energy to use tonight. And obviously go be nice, go be kind. But like if you're depleting your energy by like, I have to be nice, I have to be whatever, like by taking care of yourself, that's how you take care of other people. And it's like when you are really strong in yourself, then you have the platform, you have the position to like let people know about other people. And it's not saying you have to be selfish, like, and there's totally a difference. Like people that are like, I wouldn't know anything about that. And like they don't want to share versus like someone who's really good at what they do and then they feel comfortable telling about other people. So I feel like you can always tell like when somebody's like really like guardy about their energy and be like, I don't know, you just figure it out, man. It's like, oh, okay. But I don't know. So I feel like you kind of like by figuring out your thing, that's how you help other people. And that's how you like become a pillar, yeah.
So what's next for you, Eddie? You know what I'm saying? Just family life, no more.
Man, I don't
entertainment?
know. I mean, I'm honestly, I feel
Are we
like
gonna have Velardi Studios somewhere anytime
I don't know
soon?
about that. I mean, I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And you know, like I said, like being at that game, seeing Mano, reconnecting with y'all, I just feel like that happened for a reason. I don't know where it's gonna lead.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like, you know,
Trust the universe.
I've always felt like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
Fick left for a reason. I took the path I did for a reason.
Yeah.
It all happened for a reason. So, and I feel like I don't really know if I even believe in coincidences. You know what I mean?
No, I don't at all.
I don't either.
You know, Eddie did not my first recording, but my first collective.
Your first piece of work.
My first piece
Like,
of work.
oh.
Where I was
Which
like,
mixtape was that?
Arm & Hammer.
it's called Arm & Hammer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember Arm & Hammer.
We recorded that on the north side, right off of Broadway.
Broadway.
Yeah.
Sure did. Yeah, that wasn't the last joint though. We did a few.
We did. What
That was
we
the
did.
first joint.
What did we do after that?
City vs. Fick.
Rocky versus.
So you don't engineer anymore? You've taken a break from engineering?
I mean, like I said, I don't know. I mean, I haven't been.
But lately, yeah.
Over the last 18 years, I've been doing the dad shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know, this happened. I do believe everything happens for a reason. And, you
to
know,
be continued.
we'll see. You know
The
what I
dad
mean?
thing takes a lot out of you, man. Like it takes a lot of energy.
And, you know, I had to learn over time with that, too. It's like you try to put your time and your energy into providing for your family, your kids, and everything. But, you know, that's why I was doing some other shit, you know, on the side. But I stepped away from that, too, because I wasn't giving my kids the energy they needed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, they're at a critical point. They're like both of them, even though they're in different spaces in their life. And it's like, I need to be present for that.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Respect.
You know what I
That's
mean?
dope.
But as long
You
as
take pride in it too, which you can tell. Which, yeah, literally.
I
with
didn't have
that-
a father growing up. You know what I mean?
You said what, E? What you
I
said?
didn't have a dad.
See, that's what some of us have in common, bro. You know what I mean? Maybe that I don't know. Don't let me get too far ahead.
But that generation is breeding fathers like myself. You know what I'm saying? That,
Exactly.
That generation of
Yeah.
fathers that weren't around, and I'm
right.
sure there still are. You know what I
love
mean?
that.
But I mean, my mom will tell you now, even when I was, like 7, 8 years old, I would tell my mom, I'll never do this to my kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's deep.
Like when I was that young, I would tell my mom that. So yeah, I'm not gonna do it.
It's amazing.
You're 7.
having
You're
you-
like, if I was in charge, I'd fix this shit. No, I like that though. That's good that you were like
All
that
right,
you
well,
knew.
with that, you know, let's bring it on in. It's
Bro.
been another great episode of Pulling Apart. You know what I'm saying? I'd like to thank our guests for coming on.
Thank you
great
for having me.
conversation.
Shout y'all names out one more time before we get out of here. Starting here.
Eddie V.
Sammy.
Sammy,
Kam Bennett.
Yes,
DJ
sir.
Kam Bennett.
Y'all bring it in the middle. We're gonna do Portland and Park on 3. All right. 1, 2, 3.
Portland and Park. All right, y'all.
Thank you guys,
job,
man.
guys. That was
Appreciate
fun.
it.
Yeah, this was
Thank you
dope,
guys
man.
so
Great
much,
conversation.
Was that like 90,
what I mean?
90 minutes?
You guys better eat these cookies up. They're very good.
It's
Yeah, that's fine.
it's kind of you'll never know. You know
These
what I'm
mics
saying?
are still hot.
Depending on how the edit goes.
You never know. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you.
All right, man. Let's take a quick smoke break.
Oh yeah, we got to take a
I know y'all got a lot of shit to do. I'm gonna slide.
Thank you.
Man, so good to see you.
Let's click it up before you leave, though.
Okay.
Because we need some. Where should we take a picture?
This thing is, let me introduce my boy, Jay Brown. This Southside Jay Brown right here. You know what I'm saying? It's Kam Bennett, bro. What time is it?
Take time. But you don't know it. This is the beginning steps of the conversation.